Welcome to Psychology of Pilgrimage. In this episode, I am joined by Jan Hrkut, who is an associate professor of philosophy at the Catholic University in Ruzomberok, Slovakia. Also joining us are university students Lenka Čapkovičová and Jozef Murin. It's nice to see you, Jan and Lenka and Joseph. I'm so really happy to have you join me today on Psychology of Pilgrimage to talk about your recent pilgrimage that you took as part of your university program. And so I'm looking forward to hearing about 5 days that you spent on the Camino and what happened during these 5 days, but also some of what led up to you going in the first place and what you think you're going to do with the information and the experience now that you have returned home. So it probably makes sense to start. Actually, Jan, if you can just tell us a little more about where you're coming from in Slovakia. You are a professor and we're joined here by two students who accompanied you on the pilgrimage. If you could provide some information about the context, that would be fantastic.
Thank you, Heather, for inviting us to this podcast. And it's we are privileged to speak with you about the pilgrimage, our pilgrimage, because you are expert in the topic. So we have just little experience and we would like to share it with you and with your listeners. As you mentioned, I am an associate professor at the Catholic University in Slovakia, which is a pretty young university in the north part of Slovakia. And today in the studio or in a recording is with me, Joseph and Lenka. They are my students at the Faculty of Arts and Letters. Actually, both of them are students of a single major in psychology. And the context of our Camino is following. We had opportunity to fulfill requirements of one special course with a pilgrimage, which is surprising, but if you're considering the character of our university, I would like to explain it more. We are Catholic University, and we provide students with some general courses, introductory courses to the Christian tradition, different way of spirituality within our Christian tradition. And I had opportunity to open this special way how to pass through the course of spirituality, and I open a possibility for students to join me on a Camino, specifically Camino di San Francesco from Rimini to Laverna in Italy. And surprisingly, 10 students applied for this kind of course with me. When I think about it, and I decided that the maximum of the group will be 6 students. So I took the first 6 students from the list, and there were 6 students of psychology, and that was our ambition to do Camino di San Francesco from Rimini to Laverna within the course spirituality at my university. And we are here now, so we are successful. All of us are alive, and I hope full of experience and happiness and meaningful experience from the Camino.
So was the course opened to students from any major?
Yeah. Because the course is compulsory. It is not course focused on psychology or history or philosophy, but it's like general course, but it's compulsory for every student at the Faculty of Arts and Letters at my university.
I am curious if you have thoughts about why so many students from psychology were interested in this particular course.
And maybe this is the question for my students. Because I was not preferring in that time psychology or journalism or philosophy. I'm from the Department of Philosophy, and no philosopher applied, or no philosopher was on the first 6 places in the list. So why psychologist? I don't know.
Maybe I can answer because it was like really funny because our 6 people which we went to Italy together, we are like friend group. And out of nowhere just email came to our box, and I was like, okay, there is possibility to go to Italy, like Camino, and I was like, we need to go there. We need to go there. That's our. And well, we just all of us signed up, and somehow we ended up there. So we were like, oh my god, how possible is this? Like 6 people out of nowhere, out of like maybe 60 people in general, which were like signed to the spirituality course, and just 6 of us are taken, and we were like, oh my god, it's so cool. So it was like coincidence, I would say.
So it's interesting that you were this is a friend group who you already have rapport with the group before you started the Camino, which I can imagine would have been helpful because you were already talking before you had a friendship with people. Did you spend time talking before you ever left about what you might experience or about what you were hoping would happen from this particular Camino?
Mm, I think I would say we were talking a lot about it. Like from the start, when we find out that we are going, we were like, okay, we need to focus on this. We will have a really good time together in the middle of Italy, and we can like make a deeper connection between us. And I think all of these things happen because it was like really, you are spending 7 days, 24 hours together. You are like literally sleeping next to each other. And it was like so connecting and so like growing for us like a group or even like a people in parts.
Yeah, I think it was more of a team building activity more than just Camino for me personally.
Which part of it felt like it was the most impactful for the team building or rapport building for the group?
I personally think that maybe when you as a team go through some challenges, it is the most important thing to wait when you overcome the challenges together and the hard times. I think that's most beneficial for the team, and
So
that
it's
was many times in the Camino.
can you give a couple of examples about times that were challenging or felt like they were a struggle for the group?
Yeah, sure. For example, when we were exhausted from all day walking, and at the end of the day, we probably needed to eat, so we talked and managed to do some plans together and make compromises. What is best for who, and actually, this was probably one of the most challenging things because everybody had a different level of exhaustion. I don't know. Yeah.
I would like to add that before the Camino, we created a group on WhatsApp, and we had I think one personal meeting with all the group, and then several meetings online with the students, with all group, because we had to manage many technical, economical things before, and also we encouraged each other to train, to prepare, to pack necessary things, to find the good or the best airplane tickets, best accommodation and some stuff to the backpack. So the preparation phase was also important. And if I am going again to this kind of activity, I will stress maybe even more to the preparation to speak with people, because now I know what we can expect from the experience and from the Camino. And the preparation phase is also important for us, for the group.
Definitely. I think from my perspective, and others have also offered commentary on this, that really a pilgrimage starts once a person decides, they make that initial decision that they're going to go, or in the case of the students, being accepted into this particular field experience or experiential course. And then the preparation phase is also really important. How long did you have to prepare? Was it months or just a short period of time? Or I'd like to hear more about that. It's interesting that the group is already starting to bond together well ahead of actually the actual departure for the Camino.
Yeah, I can say that we have like 4 months or something like that. Last semester, I have a course for critical thinking, about critical thinking with all members of the group. So we know each other in some way, but then in February, maybe we announced opportunity to apply for this kind of trip to Italy or Camino to Italy, and we are starting to prepare our Camino. We have a great privilege that from the association St. Francis Ways, I'm a member of the association for a couple of years, and I know people in the region where we headed, or where we go, and especially Franco Boarelli helped me a lot with many practical issues. I was in communication with accommodations and with the people, local people there, but he advised me very much, and very many important things, many relevant things I know from Franco. And we met him for a couple of times, or 2 times at least, on our Camino. So it was great time also with Franco. And without Franco, also we can manage it, but with Franco it was more convenient, and he advised us. So local people on the Camino is important element, I think I can say.
I was going to ask about why you selected this particular Camino, and I think you've answered that, is because of your association with the St. Francis Ways.
And also, I'm in love, or admire. I'm in love with St. Francis from my childhood. St. Francis is very popular here in Europe, especially in Italy, but all over the world, I can say that St. Francis of Assisi is it's a figure, it's a person which is very popular, interesting. His life story is inspiring till these days. So maybe San Anthony is also inspiring, but St. Francis is much more close to my heart. So this is also the case why we decided for Camino di San Francesco.
What about you, Lenka or Joseph? Did you have a spiritual connection to this particular either St. Francis or to this particular Camino before, or was this something that was of interest because you were able to do this with your friends?
I think for
For
me it
me,
was maybe like
okay, sorry.
I never heard about the San Francisco Camino, but I heard about Santiago de Compostela, which is in Spain. So I was like, okay, it sounds challenging. It sounds like I love Italy, so it can be like also I can enjoy it, and it was like a combination. But I was not looking on this opportunity like a spiritual something. Maybe more like challenging, or maybe like let's see, let's try. And let's enjoy it because it's like beginning of the summer. It's like I will go with the friends and it will be fun. So it was more like this for me.
For me, at the beginning, it was just Italy with friends, and yeah, it could be fun. I love traveling. Then when we got deeper into it, I realized that it could be more of physical activity. And for me, as active person, I love to push myself to the physical limits. So I was even more interested suddenly. And when I realized what's about in terms of let's say spiritual, I'm being religious person, and I found out that it could be helpful in also this uh yeah in this how would you say it?
I don't want to put words into your mouth, but maybe it was helpful in a spiritual connection. So it connected you more to a spiritual side of yourself, or a greater spirituality in general.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Curious, I have not taken students on a pilgrimage, and I think this would be very, very challenging. And I'm curious, Jan, from your perspective, how was this for you as the professor who was leading this group?
Mm. This is my very first experience on Camino with students. But I'm a person which is which has enough courage to open new doors, open new ways how to do things. So I didn't have a fear or something like that. My students, I was very happy that students are adult, about 20 years old. They are responsible, nice persons. But also I feel great responsibility for themselves, because, whatever could happen on Camino, which is caused by our activity, also caused by activity of other people or from the nature. But thanks to God, no serious injuries or bad things happen. So I'm very happy of it. And I asked my students that many people would like to risk some things or do adrenaline sports or activities. But this Camino, I asked them before that this Camino would be without these risky activities. So I asked them, and I think that our cooperation was on very high level, and I'm very happy of 6 young people which could spend time with old men, sometimes in the same room, and they were very tolerant, very nice persons, and I feel enriched by presence with them. And of course, some of my colleagues ask me questions like, really? Did you sleep with them in the same room? And I answered, sure. I sleep with another 15 people in a room on La Verna, the shared room. So I think that even teacher or anybody should set up the mind in the state that I would come through the everything which come, and it's big level of tolerance and courage is needed in endeavor like this. Yeah.
I think that is a question I have had also, was just spending such close proximity for 1 week. It can be challenging even when traveling with one's family, because people become, they get frustrated, or they're hungry, or they're hot, or they're uncomfortable, and it can cause some friction. So traveling with students, I think, would also be interesting. And for the students to travel with their professor, also the same, because they're seeing you in a different light than they normally would in a classroom setting.
May I add something?
Yeah.
But you know that we were very close. We flight from Vienna to Bologna, and then back from Bologna to Vienna. And Bologna is, 1188 or something like that, the first university in Europe. And Bologna University was that type of university run by students. Students decide for each professor. Students live with professor in in a halls or in dormitories. And as far as I know, the relationship between students and professors in Middle Ages universities was much closer than nowadays. And I believe in the ideal that we can share our wisdom and life and experience, not just in the classrooms, not just in the lectures, but also in a very close relationship, speakings, and sharing our thoughts in, and what is better to share or talking, discussing during the walking. We philosophers know it from ancient times that Plato or Aristotle or even Socrates walking in the area of Agora in Athena, and they were speaking during the walking. And I think this was opportunity to teach and to learn from students also. And one more point, I had in mind idea to take my son. He is 13 years old, and I asked my students before Camino if they don't mind to take my son with us. They agreed, and I took him. And the Philip, my son, 13 years old, was part of the group, the smallest one, but I think enough strong, and it was also a good point or good fellow on our Camino. So I show my students also the benefits or the weakness and also opportunities relation with the son.
I would maybe say like at the end we are all just the people, like also with the sleeping in the same room and this stuff, like we are more tolerant or something. But at the end it was just like we are still just the people, all of us, which we were walking the Camino, and it's not like you are my professor or something. We were taking each other like a person, not like you are here and I am here, but it was like the same level. And maybe that's make the whole situation even more livable, or even we were more enjoying it because it was like this. We were like the same level of people, or how to say.
There is something interesting about what you're saying in terms of your experience echoing the historical precedent of learning communities, traveling together, eating together, sharing space together, that we have, I think, gotten away from over the last decades or centuries. And so maybe this is a model for returning to a community which is more closely connected during the time that students are a part of the learning community. I would be interested to hear all about the route that you traveled and some of the highlights on each day. Joseph has already alluded to some challenges and struggles, and so anything that you would like to say about this experience, I would really like to hear, and I think listeners would like to hear as well.
I think really strong emotion for me was when we were, as I mentioned earlier, exhausted, and we met many kind people who helped us many times. We were, let's say, hungry. They even though it was like Sunday or something like that, and they didn't work, and they prepared food for us. The other guy gave us some cherries or something, and it was a really great way of uh, giving love to each other for me, as from my perspective I view it. So that was really moving for me, and I started to be more grateful after that.
Maybe I can add something. Yeah, go ahead, Lenka.
Go.
Okay, I would like to add that if you if people are tired, there are several reactions to the situation when I'm tired. Somebody just like to sleep or rest on a bed. Another person talk too much about the difficulty and troubles. Another is just in the silence, and somebody just push down the emotions, and he or she is very practical, washing clothes and preparing food. So this is very colorful situation after the 20-25 kilometers of each day. So I was very happy to see different reaction to the after each stage. Actually, we have 5 stages I can talk about later, but also I would like to tell you more about the particular stages and villages and places we visited. But Lenka, if you would like to add something to the topic, please go ahead.
I just wanted to say, like you were talking, Heather, about the challenging situation or on the hike, and I remember one point, like we had like one quiet hour in the day, which Jan proposed, like it's a good idea, so we were like trying to do it every day, and I remember I was like totally dying. I was like without energy, and just Joseph came to me, give his hand to me, like he was like pulling me, like come on, but without saying anything. He was just like holding my hand, pulling me, like come on, we are going. And I was like, okay, I need to go. So maybe also this, like I think the point that we know each other before maybe like connect us even more in the challenges in the whole like hike.
Jan, would you like to talk about all the stages, the 5 stages, from the beginning to the last day?
Yeah. Camino di San Francesco, Rimini Laverna, consists of 5 stages. This Camino is a pretty new Camino if we consider old or ancient Caminos in Europe or in the world. I think that it was originally coded or created in 2012 or 2013 by association in Rimini, and actually it starts from Adriatic Sea in city of Rimini in Cathedral. This is the like official starting point. Usually as a pilgrim you obtain a credential. I have one credential with me. This is the credential with your name, and during the Camino you collecting stamps or confirmation about each stage, and finally on the final or final point is Mount Laverna in height 1020 meters above sea. So the elevation is more than 1,000 meter during five days. And if you fulfill the whole Camino, you will obtain a testimony like this from Laverna, like pilgrimage center, and in Latin you will. This is written in Latin that in Santuario Francescano de Laverna confirm that we reach the goal. And 5 stages. Each stage consists of 20-25 kilometers. First is from Rimini, from very sea level to Verrocchio. Villa Verrocchio is a point connected with St. Francis. There is we slept in a monastery, Franciscan monastery, and there is a tree which is, in every stage there is a legend or memory on St. Francis. For example, St. Francis walked this this area, and he slept in this place. He had a stick in his hand, and he put the stick to the ground. And this tree is 800 years old tree, because from that stick it flourished tree like this. And these kind of stories and legends is in many places. So Rimini, Villa Verrucchio, then Villa Verrucchio San Leo. San Leo is very special place. It's a typical Italian city or town on the top of the stone or the hill. Very splendid place and very nice in the evening. And San Leo is a special place because Orlando Catani, Duke of that area in 13th century, in one room, in one house in San Leo, gave the Laverna as a gift to St. Francis. And we visited that room, and it's special place. San Leo, St. Francis definitely spent a couple of days in San Leo. Then you will start, and after San Leo, there is much more mountains, San Agata Feltria, then Balze and Verghereto, and from Balze is the last stage to Laverna. Laverna is a special place. Again, on the top of the mountain, it's a small village, I can say. It's not just a cathedral, not just monastery. It's several buildings for pilgrims, for tourists. Every day after 9 o'clock or 9:30, it's closed and locked, and it's very charming place to spend. Hard to find accommodation. You have to book it in advance, and we had accommodation, as I mentioned, in 15 or 16 bed shared bedroom, but we were very happy for the bed in such place. I visited also Holy Mass there on Sunday with a blessing to the pilgrims. There was some, and I would like to explain why Laverna. Laverna is in Italian language, Alverna in Latin, and it is a place which was like a gift from Orlando Catani to St. Francis in 1213, and St. Francis loved that place. He always returned to the Laverna, and during one of his visits in 1224 or 25, I think, he prayed in a cave, and during that prayer, he obtained stigmata on her hands and legs, and the cave is still there, marked with many interesting points and pictures and explanations, and the place is really charming. And also not just the cave and cathedral, but also wood, and in the wood you can meet or you can look at the stones named according to experience from the life of St. Francis. The place where a wolf was speaking with the St. Francis, trees was full of, the like green cover, very nice place. It's like very good lift to meditation. Even people without a very religious background told me that the wood and the place is charming. Mystery. And maybe I can add one more thing. In Italy, if you are familiar with the regions or Italian regions, we started in Rimini, which is Emilia-Romagna region, and after Balze we entered to Tuscany, and Laverna particularly is a part of the Tuscany region. So it is also interesting that Tuscany people usually combined with Florence or Pisa or architecture heritage, but part of the Tuscany is also very nice nature, woods, and also mountains like Laverna.
Did you see a lot of other pilgrims on this Camino?
Actually, not. In the beginning, in Rimini and Villa Verrucchio, almost nobody. But as far as the approach to Laverna, the pilgrims and tourists the number of tourists will or increased. As I mentioned, the Camino is pretty new, and the end of the May, we started in 28th of May. It's not the hot season for pilgrimage. The school year in Italy ends in 6th of June, I think, and after that date, the hot season starts. So we have just few conversation with other pilgrims or tourists on Camino.
One other question I was thinking about as you were describing how you moved from day to day across the regions of in Italy. Did you all walk together mostly, or did sometimes you split apart, or maybe there was part of your group who was walking faster, or was the goal to stay together?
From very beginning of the Camino, we decided to be like a chain, and the chain, the power of the chain is as strong as the weakest part of the chain is strong. It was my idea on beginning, and I had advice from my wife that don't push to the students too much, and be patient, be tolerant. She encouraged me to be kind to the other person, to our son also. And first 2 stages we spent whole as a group, and I tried to be. We all of us tried to be in a group, even if somebody is faster. We after a couple of minutes we wait to each other, and I like this kind of community style. But after second stage, it is a third day, typical day of the crisis. There was some, harms on legs or pain in legs, and some students decided to not go by walk because of pain. So they decided to take a bus on a separate route. Then somebody on a fourth day was part of our group or walking group again. And if it was in a situation and it is not possible to walk, that more rational option is to take a bus or to take another way how to reach the goal. And I discussed this with Franco Boarelli. He's very experienced, and he told me, Camino is like life. Sometimes you need help. Sometimes you need bus. Sometimes you need choose different way how to go through the trouble, and sometimes you have to push yourself to difficult situation, and you got it. So I think this is the normal way how to deal with the troubles. But finally, all of us. We sleep in a planned stages or in planned places, and finally, of course, on Laverna we a whole group meet in the same shared room.
I wanted to return back for my own clarification to um, a question that about the number of days. This was 5 or 7, because I think I've heard both, or maybe I misunderstood you.
Yeah. The original Camino consists of 5 stages, so you need to walk 5 days. But based of our plan and based of fly connections from Vienna to Bologna, we decided to spend 7 days in total. So first day was just, accommodation in Rimini and preparing for first day. And last day was very, very interesting day. It was just waiting for a flight, but we spent it in Chiusa della Verna, which is like small village under the Mount of La Verna. And it was one of the most intensive community days. All of us was, after the reaching goal, we spent it in a very nice place with two volunteers in like a camp or house for kids. It was a playground. We play with each other some football or other games, and after that we have last evening with a pizza. We tasted small we tasted a local wine there, and it was a very nice day without smartphones. Maybe after I expect that I wait that after 5-6 days with very limited time to with smartphones, many of us would like to read new news and things from the rest of the world. But that afternoon and evening was very, very strong for me, very meaningful. We spent it as a community. We speak a lot, we play a lot, we eat pizza, drink wine. It was a very nice evening.
Was that one of the requirements for the whole Camino? Was no smartphones?
No.
It was just that particular day that you didn't have the phones.
Yeah, and it was, it was, I don't know why. Just our natural desire led us to not have smartphones on playing games together. And only 2 requirements were announced by teacher by me, that 1 hour of silencium or silence during the walk, not in the night, of course, during the day. And I put to my students each day 1 A4 text with a thematic or with a text about St. Francis or about San Franciscan topic. Just these two rules, no other.
So the first one was, so the second one was some information or
no, it was not information. It was it was meditation or poetry.
Okay, I see.
If you would like to imagine, on day 2 or day 3, it was like song of Brother Francis to the nature, to the sun, to the moon, and it's like thematic text concerning to St. Francis or to the place where we were.
And then the other requirement was some silence every day?
Yeah, it was
okay.
like
for how long?
For 1 hour.
For 1 hour. Okay.
Yeah. 1 hour, but during the walking, not during the sleeping, but during the walking. And we have a sign. If I was in a 1 hour silence and somebody came to me and asked me something, I showed him or her, and everybody knows that this is my 1 hour silence.
Sometimes, okay, so it wasn't the same for everyone. Each person could choose the silence.
Yeah.
What was that like for you, Lenka and Josef?
I usually use it for like meditation after the whole day of hiking. And we just came up to our accommodation. I just was like sitting, lying on the bed or something. And I was just like meditating, thinking about the whole day, like what I saw, what happened, what I was thinking about, and this type of stuff. And also I was like just meditating. I would say it was like meditation. Like I was not saying nothing. I was just like thinking and saving all the memories from the day. And it was really nice. Like it helped me in some point. Like I think this time is like really rushed because we are just like still going somewhere, and this 1 hour for me was like, okay, I can now stop. I don't need to do nothing. I can't use my phone, so I can just like stay here, stay at this moment, like think about what's happening, what I will do, what's the plan for another day, what we will do, and what the like all the things. You can just like sit still and like just thinking. You don't need to rush nowhere because like as Jan said, like you can show to others like, no, you are having silence, so they are not like interrupting you, and you can just like enjoy the moment. It was like really nice. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, for me also it was one of the best parts of the day. Many times I realized that it's good to slow down in this rushed age, and many times I prolonged my silence because I realized not all the time I have to comment something what's happening around me. It's also good to keep things in your head, in your mind. As Lenka said, sometimes I just observed the surrounding and I just enjoyed it all by myself. I think it's also a huge part of being in this life, that many times you are just alone by yourself, and it's good to have your privacy even though you are in some community. So for me it was beneficial.
It sounds like it could be an important practice that you continue in your life. Both, I think there's 2 points that seem important. One is the practice of silence, but the other is being able to share with others that you're in silence at this moment. And it sounds like being able to put up this boundary for yourself to have periods of silence could be an important lesson to take away from this experience.
Yes, yes, I agree. Um, for people who speak a lot during the day, for example, teachers, it is important to be in silent for a couple of minutes or at least an hour during the day. For me personally, and it's not easy, but it's very needed, and I think that I need it during during my days. And I was speaking with another guy, with the Jan, who was also part of student Jan, who was a part of our group, and he told me that speaking after the 1 hour silence is different than before. That after the silence, he, maybe many of us, think more about what we are going to tell to another. So yeah, this was good idea. I'm not sure if I'm practicing from that every day, but this is like lighthouse of good option or good habit, especially for me. For me, it's very very useful to be in silence because I speak a lot. So yeah. Sometimes it was difficult because we have to manage practical things. We were in discussion which way we have to go, this way, or somebody else from tourists or another guy. One day I was almost 50 minutes after in my silence, and somebody outside asked me, and it was not member of our group, and it was not possible to show him, so I have to interrupt it and but this is life, that even our best promises or best ambition could be interrupted by another power, and then you have to decide that what is more important, if your promise or if your ambition or speaking with a human being.
I think also it was the day when we met the guy with the cherries and we were all holding the silent hour and we were like, okay, okay. And the guy was like, come on, let's get some cherries. And we were like, okay, but we are having a silent hour. So we were like, and we were not able to say nothing. But I think someone of us broke it like, okay, grazie, grazie. So we were like, okay, for this time, it's like, okay to broke it because it's like really good opportunity. It's like really good time to broke it for something like this. It's like the guy was really nice to us and he was like, take how much you want, and it was really nice to him.
Beyond the importance of silence and realizing how important the community is, are there any other lessons that you think that you've taken away from this experience? It's still relatively recent and you'll probably have more time to think about this. I'm curious though, if there are lessons that you're taking away, or if there's some type of change within yourself that you've noticed that occurred because of the pilgrimage.
I don't know if it's like a lesson, but for me the biggest like find out was like how thankful I am for like shower, for bed, for like have a food on my table, or just to talk with my friends after the 1 hour of silence. It was like, okay, after the whole day of walking, I can take a cold shower, I can take a hot shower if I'm lucky and if it's working. And it was like really this, like how I think people in this age are not so thankful for the small things like this. And for me, it was like the biggest high top level of what can happen to me the day that I can take a shower, for example.
Yeah, I agree with Lenka. The probably hierarchy of needs are better, uh, or I think the low levels of like fundamental needs feel better when you are tired, and maybe when you reach the self self progression better at the day, and then you really enjoy as things as Lenka said, like bathroom or sleeping and so on.
As you mentioned, Heather, it is very recent. We have just 1 week after, but um, I was full of happiness during and after the Camino. I don't know cause. I don't know exact terms why I was happy, but I was happy. Um, I reached some limits of my body. Fortunately, no serious wounds on my body, but I feel that sometimes I had a strong power to overtake some difficulty during the Camino. Sometimes I was, very tired, and this experience is in some way, I don't know, important or useful, and of course, very maybe the most intensive emotion for me was like slow uh, slow slow life during the Camino. um, I'm busy in my everyday life. I commute every day, 1 hour to my work and 1 hour back. I have 3 kids at home. Many things as normal life of married father or and husband and teacher. Many of my colleagues live the same life as me, but there I was cut off the news, almost cut off the news, or almost no news I heard during the Camino, and very small, duration of the time. And I had opportunity to think about things. Maybe it's very obvious, but if I'm thinking about the time of Camino to La Verna, that small time ran slowly. This is like the best experience I can describe, and it's very nice. It's not like boring. It's not boring. Sometimes, like Heidegger told us that boring is like too much time for nothing. But during the Camino, the day was in order, because if you sleep till 9 or 10, it's not possible to reach the goal. You have to wake up early. You have to pack all your things. You have to think about it evening before, and the days was in order, and the time was like in slow way, and yeah, it was like I think that in Christian tradition we have many ways have to reach something transcendent, and sometimes, or some people need to be part of the more liturgy to another celebration of something. But I think that people in our age, or in my context, at least in my context, are much more sensitive to experience like this. Maybe to take Camino, maybe to take some walk from somewhere to somewhere, to the goal. And of course, surrounding of the context of the Camino is beautiful, just beautiful. Nature, woods, historical buildings. And it helps people. It helps to me be, like more intensive myself, or more intensive human being. Because if I'm doing every day things which I am not engaged, just it is my duty. I am not engaged in that activity. But in this activity, I had to be engaged, because my next wrong steps could cause collision or injury. So I was aware of my activity, and I was happy.
And what about with your son? How did that impact your relationship with him?
Yeah, good question. We discussed in my family if my son will be strong enough to walk with us. But he's a football player, and he has trainings, and and he was very strong in walking. No problem at all with his power. In the beginning, he was very shy to my students, because I was like in two groups: my family, small part of my family, and another part, my relation to students. He was shy, but then after 2 days, he realized that he could speak with, especially with Joseph. I think that he bonded to Joseph, because Joseph is also football players and sportsman, but also to others. And I think that this experience was like big exploration of student, not just life, but students' background or meaning, or from his point of view. He was surprised of many things which happened, but and my relation to him, we are travelers. We spend a lot of days and weeks on a trips together. So it was not surprising to be with him 5 days or 7 days. But sometimes it was difficult. We were, full of duties and things, pain sometime. But after that, I was happy that he was with us, and um, you know, we busy fathers sometimes apologize our busiest or our um, absence of the time with the kids, that we need to it's not possible to be with my sons or my daughter or my kids in general more, so I need to give them more qualitative time. But yeah, it's true, definitely true. Whatever time is possible, it's very important to give to our kids. But my experience, I'm father for 20 years. My oldest daughter is 20, and I would say that not just qualitative character of the time, the quantity is important. There is no quality. 5 minutes quality time is not sufficient. I need to spend with my kids hours and hours, and then something open in our relationship. So I'm very happy. I'm very grateful to spend such time with him, and we didn't have deep conversation about the meaning of life, but he's very he was very curious about my students, his and her attitudes, my attitudes, my discussions, my opinions. My students asked me about the maybe Josef or somebody else asked me about my university studies time during my university when I was 27 years ago. And of course, my son was full of attention to hear if his father was, drunk some time, or how he reacted to the first love, and it is not obvious to speak in my family about these things, but the challenge of questions of my students open this, and I think that Philip, my son, will benefit from this experience. And I asked him if he will be able, or if he willing to do Camino, for example, in Spain with my family, or and his answer was yes, definitely yes.
It's also special, I think, for children to see their parents in their professional environment and how they are interacting with students in this case, because it gives children a different view of who their parents are also, which enriches their experience of the parent, but also just from a knowledge standpoint, being able to see a parent in a different context is important. I have one final question or theme that I would like to ask about. Lenka and Joseph, to you specifically, how will you take your experience on this Camino and integrate it into your study of psychology?
I can start. When we talked about Camino and talking and our thoughts about it, I also something popped into my mind, and it was that one of our teachers in recent months studied how talking throughout the walk in the probably nature or throughout the town affects mental and physical health, and results seem to be positive as I am concerned. So I think we continued at that path, but at that experiment, but in more extreme conditions. So I think it. I learned many things from it, but as Janko said, we didn't have much time to process all the informations and all the effects it had on us. So I think I will think more about it. But I think walking every day and talking to people, socializing in general, is beneficial for us maybe social creatures, as somebody would say. So more of physical activity from day to day, and not being afraid to talk, as Janko said, maybe with Philip, who was person whom didn't we know. It was just like a random person, and I think we learned much from him, and we also we can learn how to be better parents when we compared uh, Philip and Janko and their relationship, and I think it was moving for everybody in our group. So for me, it was this.
I need to totally agree about the relationship stuff between Philip and Jan, because like the whole group, even more the girls of the group, we were like, oh my god, it's so cute, like the relationship of father and the son, and how they like show it to us, like it was so natural and it was so like kind and lovely, and we were like, oh my god, it's a healthy relationship which more family needs to see in the world, I would say. And what other what other benefits does it have? For me, it was maybe like finding out like how much my body is able to do. Like even after the second day, I was so tired. I was like, okay, I can't do anymore, and I made 2 more days. Like I think people are like maybe quitting at the point when they are like feeling exhausted, but maybe they still have some more energy, which if they want to do it, they are able to do it. It's not like, oh my god, first day I'm tired, I'm quitting. No, it's like when you are focusing for the finish, it's like you are more likely to finish the situation, the hike, the Camino, maybe the life experience which you are in. But the other side is also to know when to stop, because like for me, I made 4 parts of the Camino because I felt like the last day I was totally like, I felt like I can't do anymore. It was the last day was also the hardest day of the hike, and I was like, okay, I made 4 days, and I was like the evening before thinking like, am I able to do it? I will be like, I was already too tired. I my like my feet hurts. I was like, okay, I think I have also like sunburn on my face and maybe the all the stuff. And I was like, okay, you already did a lot. I was like self checking, or how to say, like looking backward, like, okay, you made all these, you made, I don't know, like 80 kilometers. You don't need to do another day. It's like already enough. You like show to them, you show to yourself, like you are able to do it, but when you are tired, you need to stop. It's not like shameful or something. It's like okay to stop when you need it.
I was making some notes as both of you were speaking to help myself. I'm learning from you, and also to conceptualize collectively together with the four of us. You talked about the importance of seeing healthy family dynamics, which is something I had not actually considered before, and how important this can be when planning even a pilgrimage with students, but also just being with people you may not know and being able to observe those dynamics, healthy communication and respect, and boundaries, and all of these elements that make healthy families exactly that, healthy. You also, I think, Lenka, are getting at you're talking about resilience. That you, I don't know, is this topic something that's familiar for you in Slovakia? The topic of resilience, where you are actually stronger. Because of the challenges, you're building some type of internal resilience, which can be important in life. I think also, Joseph, you've talked about the importance of walking and talking, that there is some research which your professor is doing, but which I'm familiar with too, that people are often more vulnerable to talk when they're walking side by side rather than maybe sitting in a therapy office looking face to face, that actually the movement helps people feel more safe and vulnerable to talk about the real problems that are happening in their lives. And also, Lenka, you are talking about and Joseph, you referenced earlier in this conversation the idea of asking for help or receiving the generosity from others or hospitality from others, which is an important aspect of being a healthy person, psychologically healthy, and being able to receive, and then also this element of gratitude that follows. So I think you actually are taking away some significant psychological uh, concepts from this pilgrimage, and I'm wondering, do you see this as a possibility? Slovakia has so many trails. Is this a possibility for this experience to occur in Slovakia, or do you think that it was unique because it was a path that was associated with St. Francis or some other type of religious path?
If I'm right, in Slovakia there is something like Walk of Soldiers or something like this, no? And it's like I think it's going from High Tatras to Bratislava, or I don't know, east or west. And it can be maybe similar, but there is like people can sleep outside in Slovakia, so they can bring a tent or they can bring a sleep bags and the stuff. But in Italy it was prohibited to sleep outside, so we were like having accommodations. But I think it's like really good because how you said, Heather, that there is a really many like opportunities for hikes, for even just the walks or something like this, or like cyclo tours, or how to say. Like I think even people in Slovakia are using this, maybe not as a therapy, but they are really like to go for a hike. I see a lot of people, a lot of young people going for hikes, or maybe going for a weekend somewhere to mountains just to stay in the nature in general. So I think it's really helpful for people.
I would like add one point to hiking or making tourist trails. Um, in my generation, which is older than Josef's and Lenka, I see a group of people who decided to take a trail or several days trail, but sometimes it's like you know proofs of our power or still ability to do it, and this is much more connected to achievement, like physical achievement. It's very popular, and why not, but I see a difference. On Camino was on our Camino was focused much more on community communication, not achieving a number of kilometers of or steps each day, and it was more about like mm, not goal in terms of kilometers, but I'm not able to describe it in the words, but it was not achievement. It was not a competition. Like competitiveness of people is it's very strong motivation for many things, but I didn't feel it competitiveness on Camino in our group, and I liked it.
The very fact that the word pilgrimage is used, I think, differentiates this type of activity from long distance walking or hiking or climbing a summit that all of these activities are often focused on exactly what you're saying, which is achievement and setting records and beating other records and pushing the limit for the sake of pushing one's physical endurance. And a pilgrimage has a different focus. So I can definitely see what you're saying there. And it's also interesting to me just having this framework, just thinking about a space in terms of pilgrimage leads to different outcomes, but also motivations for walking.
And I would like to add one more thing. My background is religious in Slovakia, and we during my childhood we went many times to Levoča. It's a place in Slovakia where is a Holy Mother shrine or basilica, and we call it like pilgrimage in Slovak language. But nowadays, after the Camino, the meaning of the pilgrimage changed to me, because usually we went by car to the city or town of Levoča, and then 20 or 40 minutes walking to the shrine and pray. And I think this is also different, that using car to approach the Levoča is a different experience, in comparison to a walk 3 or 4 or 5 days and then reach Levoča or Laverna. I'm not criticizing these, like religious gatherings, which we usually approach by cars, but it is different. And if we are looking back to the history or to our traditions, that we can see that pilgrimage or pilgrim routes was like this: several days, a whole package on my back, and then after 2 or 3 nights, I reached the place. And I'm very grateful that I had this experience, and also maybe last things. Back to the university context. This was very first experience and like pilot attempt. If this is meaningful content of course spirituality. I put to my students like a feedback form, and in the end of the academic year, we will discussing if this is a good option or if this is a meaningful content of the course. So I'm not sure if we will continue, but thanks to sharing this experience and reflection of my students, and also of your reflection, Heather, I will discuss and I will contribute to the discussion with my dean and with the team of the teachers, if this is interesting, important, possible way how to fulfill course spirituality. And sorry, but very last memory of me. Of course, I was full of the preparation. I speak with the people. I discuss with the Heather that how could I prepare for the Camino with Franco Boarelli, and also with my colleagues from universities from Czech Republic. And I was on a conference, and during the talk, I mentioned, I'm going to Camino with my students, and I'm not exaggerating now. Almost everyone told me, would you have a place? I would like go with you. Or next year, please arrange Camino also for us. So if I announce next year Camino, immediately I have at least 5 or 6 colleagues in my age that told me, okay, I would like to go. So what I mentioned, this is sensitivity to this kind of experience, and this is not, this is not sports experience. It's spiritual experience in a way, I think. And this is interesting that people have this sensitivity now. Maybe after COVID experience, maybe I don't know why, but the sensitivity is touchable, I think.
It's definitely similar conversations that I have with both colleagues, academic and other professional colleagues, as well as students who are really wanting these types of transformational learning experiences that do incorporate an element of spirituality. So I think there is something happening that is greater than just one incidence of a Camino. I think this is growing around the world, that people are interested in going on pilgrimages and doing so within the context of an educational or academic context. So I'll go too. I want to be on the list.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you all for taking the time to speak with me today about your experience on this Camino, and also your experience as students and as a professor in a very unique learning environment that not a lot of people have the opportunity to participate in. And it's wonderful, Jan, that your university has supported this, and I can't help but think that this will continue. Obviously, there has to be a certain level of review from all parties, but it seems like it was significant from what I've heard. It was a compelling case here. I think Lenka and Josef have certainly convinced me that this was a worthwhile endeavor, and really amazing that you had the idea and were able to see this to fruition in less than 1 year.
If I can say something, like, I just want to say, I think for the whole group, like, we are really thankful for Jan and also for university to making something like this, to came up with this idea, because it was really like, we will never forget this. I think it was even like physical, even psychological, like it helped us to grow like a people or like a group or in every like part you can imagine. So we are really thankful. Thank you.